So this is a Sterling Europa 650. I'm going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van, you've got your hitch, jockey wheel and handbrake. We'll go through these in person here on site and also the connections to the car. Front locker, you have two gas bottle tie downs to hold two 6 kilogram propane gas bottles, and the regulator is up on the bulkhead up above with a yellow gas shut-off valve on the side of it if you ever want to isolate the gas past the regulator. Your leg winder is also in the front locker. On the side of the van, you've got your water pump connection. So the water pump connection, very simply, pull the blue tab back to release on the side of the van and pull back, and to push into the side of the van you'll pull the blue trigger back and push inwards. At the bottom you have your wind down leg to stabilise the caravan. The legs are just there for stabilising the van rather than lifting the caravan. If you lifted the caravan with the legs you could potentially damage the floor of the caravan. The water pump end will drop into the aqua roll itself, as you can see here. Heating and hot water flow. On the side of the van, you need to remove this prior to igniting any of the gas systems inside of the van. So you'll simply release the cover and make the vent essentially look as it is now, and that is the exhaust system for the gas systems on board the van. You've then got your battery locker and your mains power lead coming in the side, as you can see. Essentially, you don't need to do anything with that at all. You just plug the lead in the side of the van. The battery, if you wanted to during winter, you could actually take off one of the connections on top of the battery just to isolate the power supply completely. The wheel nuts will be torqued while you're here on site, so you can see they've been tightened correctly, and that'll be done. If they aren't done, please do ask before you leave site. You've got your water fill tank, toilet flush tank on the side of the van. You'll need to fill this with 3.5 litres of water and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. Then in the bottom you have your toilet waste cassette, which you release by pulling up the orange handle and pulling the cassette towards you. The neck here turns out so you can tip the waste away, and you've got a grey cap here which is the measure for the blue fluid. And on the back of the cassette you've got your orange pressure relief button, so as you're tipping the waste away from inside of the cassette it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. You've got your grey waste pipes coming out the side of the van. The van hasn't been cleaned yet, so bear with us on that, but you've got the two grey waste pipes coming out the side of the van, and they'll go into the larger circle holes on the outside here, and they'll go down inside your waste master. So that's the fresh water that goes in the front, is essentially where it comes out, just here through the grey pipe work. On the back of the van on either side you've got the two wind down legs to stabilise the caravan while you're using it. Again, you would never lift the caravan with these legs, as it could again damage the floor of the van. On the door side of the caravan you've got a 3-pin socket here at the back, so you can have power out to your awning. You've then got your two fridge vents that allow the hot air at the back of the fridge unit, and also taking some cool air, and behind one of those there's a gas flue for when you're operating the fridge on gas. You'd never cover up them vents, always leave them open, unless you've got an awning up, obviously, where it's slightly different where it goes into the awning. You've then got your wind down legs, your other wind down leg for this side of the van, and you've got your barbecue gas point at the top also. Going inside the van now, as I said, our cleaners are still working on the van, so please do bear with us on the cleanliness on the inside of the van. Just as you come in the door, you've got your power controls for the caravan. Now if you're connected to mains power, you'll need to hit the button here in the centre, turn the power on by pressing and holding the button, and the power will come on. You'll see when I click the water pump button there, the control panel lights back up, so it essentially goes into a screensaver mode where it saves some power. If you're connected to the car and you want to use the fridge as a cool box, you'll need to select the car option on the end once you're connected to the car. If you're on site, you'll select the caravan mode, and in the top left hand corner here it'll indicate that you've got power coming to the caravan from the site you're on, and you've got your voltmeter for the battery on board the caravan just here. The tick button on this side is just so you can go through the different options, as you can see. First thing you need to do is fill the water system up on board the van. So as you can see, we've already connected the aqua roll on the outside, and I've actually already filled the water system, but I'm going to demonstrate how you do that. So down in the front right hand corner of the caravan, underneath the seat, you will find a yellow valve. That yellow valve is essentially the drain down valve for the caravan, which also has a fill position, which is the parallel with the floor position, so as it is now. And if that valve was pointing up right towards the camera, that is the drain position, so that would actually drain all the water out of the system on board the caravan. So like I said, parallel with the floor to fill the water system up. Once you've got that valve parallel with the floor, you can come over to so you go to each tap on board the caravan, so that's the shower as well. You'll open all the taps up on the hot side, and then you'll come to the door control panel again, or to the control panel by the door. Press the water pump button so it goes red, and the water system will start filling. Once the water system is full, as it is now, so to start with it's going to spit and splatter slightly just to get the air out of the system. But once it's full, you can turn all of the taps off, and then you'll be able to start thinking about warming the water on board the caravan. Now there's two different ways of doing that. You've got the gas option, which you'll see on this control panel just here, the bottom one. Now to get the gas system to ignite on board the van, you need to make sure you've got gas coming through the van first, so you turn on the gas bottle in the front locker. And I'd also recommend that you light the hob before you try igniting anything else on gas. You'd spin the grey dial here, round on the outside to the flame symbol. The boiler will click to let you know it's starting to ignite. The green light behind here is actually a pilot light, which will stay on until it fails to ignite at the moment because there's no gas turned on. Now you can probably just see there a faint bit of red, which actually means it has failed to ignite. But as I said, at the moment there's no gas bottle on board the van. If it does ignite, you can control the water temperature on gas between 30 and 70 degrees of water temperature. You would also use the gas control for boosting the water while you're showering on board the caravan. So you can use the electric, which I'll show you in a minute, where the power switch is for that. But like I said, you can use this for boosting the gas system while you're for the water system while you're showering, as the water system won't, the electric side of it won't boost the water quick enough. You can turn off the gas if you wish to, or supply to the gas water heater by going back to the off position on the side here. So going to the back underneath the seat on the right hand side of the caravan, if you pull down the front door on there, you'll actually notice you've got a mains consumer unit. With at the top, you've got your mains 240 trip switches, and below that you'll see you've got three other switches. You've got your space heater here on the end, you've got your electric water heater in the centre, so you'd need to turn that on there if you want to use the water system on electric. And on the end you've got your battery charger, which I do advise you leave on at all times. So the space heater will actually put power to the heating system on the other side of the van for the actual heat system. The middle switch is your water heating switch, and then you've got your battery charger on the end, which needs to be on for charging the battery on board the caravan. So as we alluded to, the heating system, you need to have that switch on. But on the opposite side of the van again, above the gas controls for the water heater, you'll notice you've got another dial with 500, 1000 and 2000 watts down the side. Here on site we can run a maximum of 500 watts into the caravan, so I'm going to select the 500 on the side here. However, if you're on a site with 1000 or 2000 watts of power available, you can select that relevant power source down the side. To control the temperature of the heater on electric, you've got the dial here in the centre, between 1 and 9. The higher you go, the hotter the heating system will be, and also the higher amount of watts you've got coming into the caravan, the more efficient the heating system will be. Obviously on the 500 it's going to be less efficient than it is on the 2000. If you're not sure what power source to set it on, you can always ask the site office when you arrive with your caravan. You can also use the heating system on gas, so you've got a gas control on this side of the van. Again, I would advise that you ignite the hob first before you try and ignite anything on gas. Hold down the gas valve because it will self-ignite on gas. Then down in the window, just down here, in the front of the heater, you'll actually find a pilot light in there when it does ignite. Once it has ignited and you've got a pilot light in there, you hold down the gas valve for a further 5 to 10 seconds. Then slowly release the gas valve. Keep an eye on the pilot light just to make sure it hasn't gone out. And then you can control the temperature of the heater on the dial on top. To turn it back off, you can spin it back past the 0 position here, and that will isolate the gas supply to the caravan itself. On the front of the fridge, which is the next component we're going to go to, you've got your main power switch, so you can turn the fridge on. At the moment we're connected on mains power, and the blue light is indicating that we have indeed got mains power coming into the caravan. To change the power source you want to use, you can press the grey button on the left hand side here. So you've got 12 volt mode for using the fridge as a cool box once you connect it to the car. And then you've got your gas option on the other side. So the 12 volt mode will only work from the 12 volt power supply from the car, not from the 12 volt battery on board the caravan. The gas supply is for the gas operation of the fridge. The blue light here at the bottom is essentially your pilot light. When it's solid blue to start with, it is actually trying to ignite. And if it ever starts to flash, then it has failed to ignite on gas. To control the temperature of the fridge on mains or gas, you've got the button on the right hand side here, which will allow you to control the temperature of the fridge. As you can see, it has failed to ignite because there's no gas on board at the moment. If you want to turn the fridge off, you'll press and hold the power button, and the fridge will turn back off. Microwave, hob, cooker and grill, all very much the same. The only thing to remember is the 240 electric ring will only work when you've got a 240 volt power supply coming into the caravan. Last thing we're going to go through on the inside of the caravan is the toilet system. You have an electric flush on top of the toilet, which you need to fill from the outside of the van. So you'll press the flush button on top to flush your toilet system. You have a toilet full indicator light just here, so that will appear red when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. Then down the front of the toilet, you actually have a grey waste handle, which you can push across to allow the toilet waste into the cassette underneath the van, or in the side of the van. We do advise when you finish using the loo that you shut that flap back off so no smells come back up into the van itself. The toilet seat does turn for your convenience. However, when you are removing the toilet cassette from under the van, you will need to make sure it's pointing straight across towards the door, because it has 2 lockout tabs on the bottom of the toilet seat that will actually stop you from pulling out the toilet cassette if the toilet is turned at all. If you have any further questions on the Sterling Europa 650, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate the business, and we look forward to seeing you here on site when you collect your caravan soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.